Happy Friday to all of my Math 7 students. We're going to go a short review on today's lesson in case you're having some trouble trying to navigate your way through the problems, okay? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk about each one of the sections that you have to do, and hopefully you can get some good tips on how to do these. Once again, if what I'm saying is not super clear, off to the side of each one of those problems, you should have like a section that the problems are dealing with. And if you have to go back in the book and kind of take a look and see what you're supposed to be doing there, it'd be a good idea. So when we do 1 through 3, these are just true or false questions, but a lot of the times like on these, you're going to have to actually go through and practically kind of do the problem. So let's look at number 1. So this one asks you to do the replacement set. So when you have a replacement set, just so I can remind you, okay, they give you these funny brackets here, and then they gave us like replacement set 2, 4, 6. And basically in this statement, they took and said 7 over 2 times a number minus 21 is equal to 0. And then they say that that answer is number 6. So what you got to do is you got to take number 6 and substitute it in for the n. Okay? So in essence, you're doing this. 7, 2 times 6 over 1 minus 21 equals 0. So you're actually going to have to do this part first, cancel out, multiply, and then see if that ends up giving you 0. If it does, then the answer is true. If it doesn't, the answer is false. Okay, I hope that helped you on number 1. Let's look at number 2. The same thing they do with that one, except this time they say it has no solution. All right, so let's look at their number set that they give us on number 2. And their number sets are 1, 3, and 5. And then they give us a formula of 5x plus 7 equals 17. So what you have to do is substitute these numbers in here, because they're saying in this statement, whether you tell me whether it's true or false, they don't have a solution. They're saying that none of these numbers work. So you're going to have to go through and say, okay, 5 times 1 plus 7, does that work? 5 times 3 plus 7, does that one work? It equals 17. And then 5 times 5 plus 7, does that equal 17? If none of those work, the answer is true. If one of them works, the answer is false, because they're saying that none of these are the correct answer. Okay? There's number 2. Number 3 on the true and false. It says an equivalent equation for 2x minus 4 equals 16 is 2x equals 12. So in this situation, you want to go through and solve and see if x is going to be the same answer that you get on this one as the same one you get that one. Remember our steps. Now, a 2-step problem, you would add the 4 to both sides and then divide by 2. On this one, all you have to do is divide by 2. If x equals the same answer on both of these equations, your answer is true. If they don't, the answer is false. Hopefully that helped you out. Okay, let's move on to the next section. I don't want to take a lot of time on these. You can go back and look at it again to help you out a little bit. So from 4 through 6, all you're doing is filling in the correct answer. On number 4, you're actually going to have to solve that problem to find out what the solution is, okay? Number 5, you need to fill a word in there. It's actually an operation. So it's either going to be add, subtract, multiply, or divide for your answer on number 6. Okay, this is number 6. You get to choose one of those 4. I'm helping you out. I'm reducing it to 4 choices. You choose the correct one, okay? All right, then the last one, you have to solve that one too. Find out what n is. Remember, do the reverse operation. if I have n divided by 9 equals 27, I've got to do the opposite and multiply by 9 on both sides. Okay, now the next ones from 7 through 13, you're going to be given a multiple choice answer. Okay, so if you go to solve these, let's just look at number 7. If you take 4/3 x equals 60, okay, A, B, or C is going to be the answer. Okay, so if you get something different than that, you're going to have to redo it. Remember, when we have a fraction, we divide or we multiply by the reciprocal. That's not the reciprocal, Mr. Lindblad. Okay, that is. 3/4 is the reciprocal of 4/3. And so you do the same thing over here. And I'm going to go ahead and complete this one out for you, just so you can remember, because I think some of us are having a difficult time thinking about this. These two cancel. Now when I go over here, put my whole number over 1. Then I look at my denominator over here and see, can 4, or a number that divides into 4 and 60, is there a number like that? And yes, there is. 4 actually does go into 4 once, and it goes into 60. Let's see. 4 goes into 6 once. When you subtract, you get 2, bring down the 0. 4 goes into 20, 15 times in. So 4 goes into 60 15 times. Now we got to take 15 times 3. Okay? 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, 4. So in this situation, x equals 45. So go down and find out which letter has 45. And by golly, letter A does. So on each one of those, 8 through 13, you're going to have to work at solving the problems. Okay? 11 and 12, you just have to tell me which one of the equations is the correct equation for the word problem. Okay? Give me the correct number sentence for that. And then on the last one, you actually do the number sentence and solve it. Let's look at 13. We'll do 13 together also. So I just did number 7 there. Hopefully you wrote that down. Let's look at 13. It says, Tanya and Sarah were biking. When they returned, they found that they had gone 18 kilometers in 0.75 hours. What was their speed on the trip? Well, okay, you take kilometers per hour, right? So if we went a total of 18 kilometers, 18 goes here, okay? Then we say, well, kilometers per hour. That means I don't know how many kilometers they did, but I know how many hours they did. They did 0.75 hours. So I set it up like this. So the number of kilometers, that's the number I didn't know, is divided by the number of hours that they went, which was 0.75 of an hour. Now, let's see how many kilometers we got now. We know this is division because we have a divide line. We do the opposite. So we have to multiply by a decimal, 0.75 on both sides. These cancel out, and then we'll get an answer here. 0.75 times 18. Let's do it. 8 times 5, 40. 7 times 8, 56 plus 4, 60. Add a 0 for the tens place. Now multiply by the 1 in the tens place. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 7 is 7. Add those together. 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. 6 plus 7 is 13. Okay, we had a decimal in our problem. When we multiply by a decimal, we count how many numbers are behind that decimal, and that's how many places we move over. We have 75 with 2. We're going to move 2 places over, so our answer was 13.5 or 50. That would be answer A. Okay. Now, there's a trick to this problem that I didn't think about. Nope, I think we're going to stick with that. A is going to be our answer there. All right, good luck with that. All right, you got the rest of those problems to do. I did 7 and 13 for you, which means you got 11 more problems left to do. I helped break down some others. Have some questions, feel free to email me, ask me about them. Okay, good luck on those.